Thanks, Michael. Congrats on the win, Anthony. I guess just to start, what were your overall impressions on the performance of the team, and how do you now try to carry over the 7 goal performance into Monday night against El Salvador? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I think I think firstly it feels like job done, and then now it's about just making sure that we recover well and we finish this job off. I think a performance and a result like this can be a little bit what's the word? Not misleading, but you don't want to get carried away. The importance for us is just to make sure that we do all the right things between now and the next game, and we finish the job off. But the actual performance, I thought it was the result of just a really, really good week. The players have performed, trained well, the attitude's been good, and the energy's been good, and the focus today I thought was excellent. So I was very pleased for them.
Next will be Kyle Bond.
Coach, congrats on the win. You guys, you called these road matches in CONCACAF play complicated yesterday. Sometimes, if you don't come out of the gates firing on all cylinders, it can get a bit messy. How important was that early goal in this game for kind of setting that tone and settling everyone down?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, even when they scored their goal, it's like, you can feel the crowd, the atmosphere, and then it just sets in a little bit of doubt because again, a lot of these times, and and I've been I've been through this with the same thing with New Zealand. We did the same thing with Bahrain. When you go to some of these places, and the conditions are the way they are, and you're the superior team, sometimes these things become like an equalizer in terms of the teams you're playing against. So, look, I think the big thing going into this game was about mentality. I think with the utmost respect to our opposition, we just felt that the defining factor was going to be focus and mentality, and I think that part of it we were pleased with.
Next will be Stephen Goff from the Washington Post.
Thanks a lot for your time. Just wanted you, it seemed like Christian really put his stamp on this match right away, taking on defenders and setting up goals throughout the first half. Wondering if you could just comment on his leadership and his assertiveness in this match.
Yeah, Stephen, if I'm honest, I'm amazed by Christian. I mean, I think I've said this a few times. And without talking about previous experiences, but being involved in international soccer for quite some time. When a cycle's over and you have the start of a new cycle, especially the one we've just had, where you have the high of a World Cup, and then you have games like these at a time of the season where players are fighting for relegation, Champions League, real tense times in their clubs. It's very, very easy to turn around and look at the fixture, the schedule, and say, look, with all due respect, I think the team can get away without me and win these games. So, and this happens all around the world with all sorts of international teams, and it's in the past I've had experience with this in the past. So the very fact that through this last cycle and leading up to this camp and then coming into camp, I just can't speak highly enough of the character of this person, who not only is he a talented player, but is someone that I can assure you, he just absolutely loves playing for his country. He's a great character, loves playing for his country, and is inspiring to the rest of the group. And I think you saw that in his performance tonight. I mean, I can't remember the amount of times he puts his body on the line. For such a big player playing at a big club, a huge value on him, and we go to places like this, and he has no problem just giving absolutely everything he has. So he is an inspiration for the rest of the group for sure.
Next will be Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Anthony, for the time, and congratulations. I'll ask you what is admittedly a parochial question for me about the center back pairing of Mark McKenzie and Austin Trusty. What you saw from them over the last few days, and what you saw from them tonight playing together for the first time in a while, which they used to do quite a bit. Thanks.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. The thinking wasn't because they played together in the past that this could be an interesting pairing. We've been following Mark. He's been doing well, and we've been following Austin, and we felt Austin deserved the chance. I'm really pleased for both of them. I'm really pleased Austin has been able to get his chance and doing really well. I think one thing I'm really confident with both of them, and especially having been over in England, and not just myself but BJ, but seeing Austin play, is like, this guy is like, when it comes to winning aerial duels and 1v1 battles and defending space behind the line, and just really his physicality in duels, like, I have absolutely no problem with him. So we're really, really pleased with both of them, and we feel we have some fresh legs to come on and help in the next game as well.
We'll go to Kyle Bonagura from ESPN.
Yeah, Anthony, Gio in the past for the national team is mainly played on the wing. Tonight he was obviously playing centrally and was even dropping fairly deep at times. Can you kind of walk us through kind of what the idea was there and how you made that decision to kind of change what his role was?
Yeah, I have to admit, in training all week, he's been pretty much outstanding. He's showing his quality. We wanted to put him in a position where we felt it was his strongest position, where he could be the most successful. We were working towards playing a 4-2-3-1. We wanted the guys to have a little bit more freedom, but with discipline. So if Gio did come down, we saw Weston moving up or Luca moving up. So that was the thinking. We wanted to give him a little bit more freedom. I think when you see Gio receiving the ball in between the midfield and the defensive line facing forward, I mean, he's an incredible, dangerous player. Now, that said, I thought he played really well tonight, but I was concerned because in training he was outstanding. He really was. He's been brilliant every day. And then I just felt when we got on the field last night, part of me felt, do you know what? This type of field might be tough for Gio, because he likes to turn, he likes to dribble, and I'm thinking, we sort of wanted to set him up to do well, but he did do well, and we were pleased for him, and he's had a really good week. Given the fact that he's a young kid and he's been through a lot.
Next will be Sean McCaffrey.
Hi, Coach. Sean Suckle, Allen Magazine. Should we be reading into anything in the fact that the only player that was a healthy scratch is also the only player from MLS?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Should we be reading into, is there more to the sole MLS representative not even dressing today?
No, honestly, there's nothing to read into other than he's returning from injury, and we're just trying to, we've been speaking to his club, and I think we both agreed with Atlanta and ourselves. We both agreed that it would be best if we just played him one game a week, and. So that was the reason. It was simple as that. I mean, I think I spoke to him yesterday and again today, I'm getting old, so I'm losing my memory. I keep having 2 or 3 the same conversations with players, and I'm sorry, I keep apologising to him. But Miles is one of them. We've had a conversation a couple of times, and he's he's returning from a tough injury, so we just want to manage his loading. But I can assure you this. We love him as a player. We were devastated with his injury, and I can't imagine what he went through. But he is someone that we really value. But there's nothing to read into.
Next will be Jason Anderson.
Hi, Anthony. Thanks for speaking with us tonight. Wanted to ask a little about Joe Scally's role tonight. Christian obviously was very decisive, but it seemed like the team was heavily left-sided. Was that by design, or was that simply those two kind of finding the game and taking over?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we spoke about it at half-time. We felt in the second half, we felt there was opportunities when Christian cut inside that he could have. It was on because the opposition had shifted across so much that it was on for either Brendan or Brian Reynolds to either switch the play to them or even get Brian in behind the back line. So I think we talked about that at half time, and I think we got Brian more involved in the second half. I think one of the things we saw a phase late in the second half where we were I apologise, in the first half, right before half time, and he got it and he played a little combination play, got up the line, and then I think he ended up putting a cross in. But that's the type of thing we'd been seeing him do for his club every week, and been doing it really, really well. So we were pleased about that. So it was, look, we were playing against a team that were like mid to low block, and when Christian had the ball, we had a lot of players around him. Gio would come over, trying to create a bit of an advantage, and there was a lot of space on the right hand side. So second half, I felt we got Brian involved a lot more in the game.
Last question for Anthony comes from Andrew Jones.
Thank you, Michael. Anthony, just want to ask you your assessment on the performances of Ricardo Pepi, showing the maturity that he has from the disappointment of missing the World Cup and scoring his goals tonight in his activity, and Luca de la Torre once again being so active and tidy in the midfield.
Thanks, Andrew. Andrew, is that a new picture again from yesterday?
It's the same one.
Or you're in a different room? Okay. I like it. It's nice. So you're talking about Pepe and Luca. I mean, look, I'm pleased. Look, when we go over to Europe and visit these players, I think you notice straight away that it's tough for these young guys. There's a lot of pressure on them. That some of them are on their own. They don't have family. Family come and visit every now and then. Integrating into a new culture and language, all of these different things, and I don't think we all, even as a staff, it's important to go over there and really see it and appreciate that it's tough, and I think Ricardo's had a tough start over there, and one thing we've seen from Ricardo is that he is like constantly working for his team in Holland, constantly leading the line, constantly running behind the line. The amount of, for a player who doesn't always get the service, and he's just always running behind the line and working and pressing, and he's got an incredible attitude. He's a great guy. He's a really great guy to have around. So I'm just pleased that he's come in, and I'm pleased that he's done well. And look, this guy's going to be around for a while. So we're really pleased about him. And again, Luca was in a slightly different position today because we wanted to play with 2 centre midfielders. We felt Luca was someone that could help us maybe have a little bit more positional discipline in there. but also someone that could receive in tight areas and turn and break lines and play forward and find Gio and find Christian. That was the point of having Luca in there, and I thought he had a really good game. And I thought he was brave on the ball. I thought he received the ball in some really good areas. We talked about him popping out, into wide areas and creating a little rotation. I thought he did that at the right times. We were really pleased with Luca.